Hello and welcome back to Minecraft again, episode 2. Today we are going to get set up in our new bedroom, which I still need to make. And I think we're going to put a couple of crop farms over here, maybe a little area to grow some trees, because I've just been sort of using the front yard. And then I think after that, I'm going to get a little place to put some villagers because we need to get some villagers for all of our enchantments, get our tools set up, gear up to start our first long-term project. So, in between episodes, you may have noticed I did a little bit of enchanting, just a, simple enchantment table, no bookshelves yet. And I've done a little bit of mining, got a decent amount of iron now, got a couple of more diamonds, a little bit of redstone, made my first diamond pickaxe, which you probably saw at the end of last episode. It's got efficiency 1 and unbreaking 1 on it right now. Just chopping some trees, harvesting the crops, all that mundane stuff that everybody does off camera. And I found another wandering trader, and he traded me an acacia sapling. And that sort of also made me realize that we really need to get some villagers over here because I've been having to sell him bottles of water to get emeralds, and I'm down to 2 emeralds. So next time this guy shows up, he's probably gonna have something that I definitely want to get, like cactus. We don't have any cactus yet. Don't know where a desert is. I'm gonna have to find one of those at one point. But whenever he comes by, I'm definitely going to need to get some emeralds on hand, just so I can buy anything that he is going to be selling. So, let's get right into it. Okay, so first things first, I think I'm going to flatten out a little bit of area here. I think I want to make our bedroom be a little bit lower than the rest of our house, just to give us some more space, because this area is pretty flat all the way around here. And I'm going to have to take out a bunch of these trees. But I think first things first, I need to figure out what's the best way to connect this side door to a little area on down here. So I'm going to grab some materials and let's throw something together real quick. Okay. So, we've got a little bit of a farm setup going on right now, and I attached this little annex to the side of our house. So, let's take a look. This is where our bedroom is going to be. You know, I found a couple cats because I also moved some villagers over, so I get a lot of stray cats hanging around the base now, so I've tamed a couple of them. And so yeah, here's where our bed's going to be. You know, I just took a little hallway off of the side of the starter house, and you know, a little space for bedroom. You know, got a little extra space in case we want to put anything else in here. You know, a workstation or something. We got a little auto composter. Get some bone meal. I put a little chair down in the house here. Put a few flowers and a firefly bush in the little gap in between the two sections here. And then we got our little starter farm outside. So, there's that little gap on the side, and then, yeah, we got a little space for carrots, potatoes, wheat, melons and pumpkins, a little space for bamboo, you know, it's a little small sugarcane farm, and I got a couple of sheep over here. And so the next step is to work on a little bit of decoration in this area. I want to put in some little paths, maybe a little covering over some of these crops. And then what I'm thinking I want to do is I think I want to expand the pumpkins and melons over on this side and fill in this little pond here, you know, maybe up to here so that we get a nice view of this pond over here. And then I think I want to make a little barn for the animals over here. That's why I've cleaned out all of these trees back behind the house. And then I've been doing a little bit of villager trading. I moved the villagers down into a little basement down here. And, you know, we got plenty of librarians. We got a farmer who will buy our melons, pumpkins, potatoes, and carrots. And we got a Fletcher who we can sell sticks to if we needed a little bit of extra emeralds. And then, yeah, we got our librarians who, I got efficiency 5 for 46 base price of emeralds, which is pretty good. Got fortune 3, looting, silk touch for 10, which is okay, unbreaking for 15, which is really good. And then this guy, our mending guy, I wanted to stick around, you know, 20 emeralds for mending, and like the first mending book that I got it for 20 emeralds. And I'm like, I could do better than that, but I gave up and you know, settled on 22. But I just leveled this guy up, and now he sells protection 4 for 56, which is a little expensive, but I think it will be just fine because It's all on the same villager, which will be good when you get into converting them into zombies and then back again into villagers to decrease the prices of their trades. That will be pretty good once that gets a little bit cheaper. And there is one other thing that I set up. If we head down into the mine shaft, you will remember that we found a zombie spawner right at the bottom of our staircase, basically. So I just came down here, and you know it's still a little bit dangerous to get down here, but it's you know functional. If I want to, I can fall back down into that water like I did the first time I came down here. But what I have done is I have sealed it off, added a little bit of water, and the zombies are going to drop here, and I put the enchantment station down here, you know, a couple bookshelves in case I need more books, and then, you know, we get a little bit of extra armor and some other drops and stuff, and, you know, there's no soul sand in there to lift them up and, you know, make them drop for fall damage. Have not been to the nether yet, so we, you know, just keep it pretty simple. They just fall down right into the hole, and we finish them off and get our XP and some drops, which is pretty simple. The other thing that I've been working on the side is getting our good tools ready. Now, I have a perfect fortune pickaxe here, you know, fortune, efficiency, unbreaking, mending, all the works, which we got all of those enchantments from the villagers. And I also did the axe. The axe has silk touch on it, which allows me to, you know, break all of the melons and pumpkins and get the actual melon blocks instead of slices. And I'm working on the sword. Don't have any of the enchantments for that yet. And I'm working on a hoe for, you know, fortune and unbreaking. Because if you didn't know, and it works with any fortune, so I can use the fortune pickaxe here. If I break a carrot, you know, I get 3 carrots, right? But if I use fortune on it, right, I get 5. And that works for all of the crops that you can harvest. You can get extras by using fortune. It works for carrots, it works for potatoes, it works for wheat. However, you only get extra wheat seeds. You don't get any extra wheat from doing that, which I have been doing that using the fortune on the wheat. I've been just throwing all the extra seeds into the composter over there and getting a little bit of extra bone meal, which will help us out in the long run. So I've just been on the grind of getting our tools up and ready, and then once we get our tools set, I think it will be time for us to worry about going to the nether, I think that's our next play, is to go to the nether and then worry about beating the game. I want to have the access to the end just for the you know, just for the things that will provide us, like being able to make an Enderman farm, one of the best XP farms in the game. And, you know, obviously there's the outer end island, so we can get shulker boxes, which will be good for storage, and the elytra. Now, being that I don't have any sort of gunpowder farm yet, the elytra is a little bit difficult to use effectively. You know, we won't be able to fly all around our world and check everything out, but that is okay. I don't really think I want to be flying around just yet. I want to keep my feet on the ground, do a little bit of exploration that way. And I've been looking around. I have not found a desert yet. I've been looking for that. We need cactus for green dye. I think that there's a little bit of green in the build I want to make for our actual base instead of just our little starter base. and I am gonna need that green dye for that, potentially. And I've also been, exploring around looking for a place to actually build um, our true base for this world. And I have not found it yet. I want to build in an area that has an ocean monument. That is going to be one of the main things that, one of the main farms that we will have at our base is going to be a guardian farm. It's going to be deep underneath our base, but that's getting a little bit into spoiler territory, so I'm not gonna worry about that stuff quite yet. So I think by now it is time for me to continue working on the grind for tools and armor. Check back in a little while. Welcome back. Let's do a little run through of what I've been working on, and then we can wrap up the episode. So, I finished putting in a little pathway in our farm. Nice little stone, mossy cobble, and mossy stone bricks. Put a little archway up, just to, do a little highlight for the farm here. I put a little spruce tree in here. Nice little custom tree. I think it turned out pretty decent. First time I've ever made a tree that's, a big evergreen tree like that. We got our little infinite water source with some waterlogged stairs. And I also doubled the size of the pumpkin and melon farm. And I've been using that to get a lot of the emeralds that I've been using for trading. Increase the size of our sugarcane farm a little bit, because we're going to need lots of paper for rockets and stuff like that, or books, so I want to make a nice library. But I could also buy bookshelves from villagers. I put in a little fishing dock here, and I've been doing a tiny bit of fishing, nothing too crazy. A little bit of fishing. Got some extra fishing rods, which are kind of bad. A decent enchanted book, a couple saddles, some boots. Yep, pretty simple little fishing dock. And then lastly, I put in a little animal barn area, and I've been breeding up the sheep and the cows and the chickens, just so that we have access to all of their stuff: eggs, leather, steak, all that stuff. The wool is going to be super important later. And yeah, that's all I've been working on lately. I finished the entire set of tools that I'm gonna need to work on our mega build and beating the dragon and stuff like that. So we'll just do a quick little run through of those as I throw my sugarcane back up top. All of my tools and armor, except for the pants, are named after either a song or a Magic the Gathering card. So, and I have fully enchanted all of them, except for, like Swift Sneak and like Soul Speed, stuff that is a little bit harder to get at this point in the game. But we got our Fortune Pick, we got our sword. I'm not a big user of Fire Aspect. I think it's cool, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. We got our Silk Touch pick, we got our Silk Touch shovel and axe for mining melons and pumpkins. And then over in the barrel here, we got our Fortune Hoe that I've been using to harvest crops. And then I made a couple of backup Silk Touch picks, because those are going to be very essential, because they run out of durability pretty quick if you're using Haste 2 for mining and stuff like that. And then we got a perfect fishing rod too, just to make things a little bit easier while we are fishing. And then if I head over to the villager trading area, I've been working on getting lots of villagers for librarians, books and stuff. We have three farmers now. Got Fletcher to buy. He'll buy sticks for emeralds, and then around here somewhere there is a cartographer I want to find a trial chamber. I've not found one of those yet, just so that we can get access to all that good copper blocks and stuff. So I leveled this guy up to master, and he sells a Woodland Explorer map, which we already know where a couple of woodland mansions are, so that's kind of pointless. The good thing, though, was he did sell a map to an ocean monument, and I put it on the wall over here, which it's decently far away if I pick it up here. Yeah, our dot is pretty tiny down there. So I went up and explored it. It is that way, which is north. Yep, to the northeast a little bit. So I went up and I explored it, and I think that it is the perfect location for our mega base, which I don't think we'll be starting next episode. I think next episode we're going to work on finishing the game, you know, going to the end and the nether and all that stuff. And yeah, so that's where we're at currently. The other thing that I did find, which I am probably going to set up next episode, I've been using the simple zombie spawner that we found down in the mine for XP, and I've been selling the rotten flesh to a potion seller because I picked up some brewing stands from a village, and with you know, it's a decent form of XP, not as fast or as efficient as, you know, just trading with villagers and stuff, but what I did find while I was down there was a triple spawner, which I think will be pretty nice. It is in a abandoned mineshaft, and then there is a zombie dungeon, a skeleton dungeon, and because it's in an abandoned mineshaft, there is a cave spider spawner down there, which will be our source of bones and string for this early section of this world. And so yeah, that's where we're at currently. I've been, you know, throwing seeds in there to get some extra bone meal. I tamed a few of the cats that are around the area from the villager area. And yeah, that is about it. So let's talk about our album for this episode. Last episode, I chose the Minecraft soundtrack, Volume Alpha. And this is easily one of my favorite ambient albums and one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. All of these songs on here are just so nostalgic and bring me back to a time of when I was young and playing Minecraft for the first time, you know, discovering it through YouTube videos, much like this one. And, you know, just it reminds me of simpler days. And that is why I'm going to give this album a 8 out of 10. If you want to read the full review, you can always check out my Album of the Year page, which I will link in the description. And yeah, so it only seems right to me to follow up last episode's album with Minecraft Volume Beta. So, next episode, I will be reviewing the Minecraft Volume Beta soundtrack, which is all the other songs that C418 made for the Minecraft soundtrack. And so, yeah, that is where we are at. I want to thank you again for watching. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.